Hello everyone. Today what I wanted to do is take a look at one of the examples in the back of the chapter and see and just show you how I would do it and to make sure we're on track with some of these other topics that we're talking about, and maybe show you a couple things that you haven't seen yet. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is working through an example, and I think I will pick number 6, page 191, number 6, the body mass index, and I'll just do it for you. Okay, hopefully it'll pick up on a couple things. So I'll do a new project within Visual Studio. Again, I'm using 2010. If you're using 2012, that's perfectly fine. Just realize that it may look a little different. Everything in this class is a Windows Form application. Project name, PRJ body mass index, and SLN body mass index for the solution name. Now that's just one naming convention that people use. It's a relatively simple one. Kind of matches up with the form level controls and the form itself. I'm not going to do source control. And when we get into the intermediate class, we'll change that a little bit. So, hit OK. Very good. All right. So we're going to take a look at here is just a few controls, getting information out of a screen and then doing the calculation. So let's right-click. First off, always right-click on Form 1. Either delete it or change the name to something a little more descriptive. Make sure you put FRM on your external file name. So FRM body mass index .cs, and say yes. Okay. So we'll do a couple of things over here on the form then. Wait for the properties to pop up. There we go. FRM body mass index is perfectly fine. Change the text property where it displays our Form 1 up here. And we'll say body space mass space index. And that'll be good. Alright. So what we'll do is we're going to use a couple of input boxes to do this. And we're going to have input for the weight and the height of an individual. And then once we have that, we'll have to take those particular values and put them into some numeric variables. And then we'll do some math. And then we'll output the answer. All right. So to do that, remember, text boxes can be used to gather input. So I'm going to go text box for the input in the two input fields. And then we'll put a label in front of each of those, and a label for the output, and then a descriptive label for the output, which is 4 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so they're all in there. Now just kind of move them around so they have a nice, you can use our sizing handles and line up the blues and the pinks. The pinks are the font. So we have an input for weight, input for height, and then this will be output. And then what should we put? Maybe 1, 2, 3 buttons at the bottom. So 1, 2, 3. This button will be an exit button. This will be a clear button. This will be a calculate button. All right. So that looks okay, I think. 3 parts of our application development process are: 1, draw the form, and then we set properties, and then we write the code. Let's see if I can center these. See if I can center this group in the form horizontally. There we go. That's a little better. Select all my controls that I want. Horizontal spacing, center and form horizontally. All right. That's pretty good. I also, just something that I'd like to do, I like to change this label here. I don't want it to be a text box, but I like it to look a little different than the descriptive labels that I have over here. So what I'm going to do is change a few properties of that as we go along. In this particular one, I'm going to change its name to LBL BMI. LBL BMI, auto size false, border style fixed single, and then we're going to clear out the text. So what do we have? LBL BMI, auto size false, border style fixed single, and the text of cleared out. Okay. Label 1 up here in the corner. Just going to change this name to LBL weight, and weight as the text, weight colon as the text. Label 2 here will be LBL height. LBL height for the prefix and a naming convention, and then height colon as the text that displays in the text property of the control itself, and then LBL BM. Oops, I call this one. That's BMI. So LBL body mass index, and then BMI colon. Not CMI. BMI. Okay. These controls. TXT height for the top one. No, TXT weight. TXT weight. TXT height. Capital H in the middle there. And we have LBL. The button one on the left. BTN calc. Calculate. The middle one will be a clear, so BTN clear, and clear as the text property. And then exit, BTN exit. And exit. There we go. So the form is drawn, and what we're going to do after this particular spot is then come back and write some code. But we want some mnemonics. And from your reading and looking at the book, you should see, or are going to see, that you can create shortcuts on your keyboard to reflect places on the screen that you want the cursor to go to, or where you want the program to execute. So if I hit a mnemonic on this particular thing, on this particular button, I would like that shortcut key to do the calculate. And as from the other videos I'm sure you've seen, we know that we can do that by putting an ampersand in front of the letter that we would like to do. So in our particular case, when we do an Alt, hold the Alt key down and then hit a C, it'll execute this line. We can only have one per letter, so we're going to put the ampersand in front of the L for clear, and we'll put it in front of the E, or the X, for exit. All right? So that's good. So that's one set of mnemonics, Alt, whatever. We can also set up the Enter key on the keyboard to be one button, and the Escape key to be one. Okay. So what we'll do is we would like the Calculate button to be the Enter key, or what's called the Accept button, and then the Exit, maybe we'll do Clear. We'll do Clear. You can do whatever you want. You just have to decide. We'll do the Clear button to be the Escape key. So what we're going to do is click on the form. Those are properties of the form. Go up to the Accept button. Pick the Accept button for the Enter key, which is BTN Calc, and then go down to the Cancel button and pick it for the Escape key, which is the Cancel button property. I think I've named that better. Enter button and Escape button. I guess they just didn't want to. bgates@microsoft.com. Send him an email. All right. So we've drawn the form. We've got some mnemonics on. We have some shortcut keys set up. We can also set up a mnemonic on the label. Now the label cannot have focus itself, but if the tab order is right, what will happen is if I put one on the W of weight here, it'll go to the next tabable control in the tab order. No, the tab order might be wrong, but we're going to put one on the H and on the W. And that's good there. Now, let's make sure our tab order is right. Remember, labels are non-tabbable controls, so we really have to be considerate of the text boxes and the labels. So let's just take a peek. We can go to View, Tab Order, only on the form, and we can tweak this. Now we're actually going to be okay, because remember, these 4 aren't tabbable, and so we're really concerned about these 2 and these 3 buttons. 0, 1, 6, 7, 8 is perfectly fine, but that would be okay. But now that we put these mnemonics on the labels, we got to reset it. So I'm in this mode of editing, so I'm just going to start and click through all my controls, the left mouse. So if I click on this one, it'll become a 0. Then I click on the next one I want, which is the text box. And then I have the weight, which is number 2. And then the TXT height, said that wrong. The height label goes to the TXT height. And then we keep clicking. And as I click on the last one, you'll see that everything is going to change. And it goes back to reset. Okay. Now we're all done. To get out of this edited mode, you just hit the escape key. And then you're good. I'll just save that real quick. Control S. That was a good idea to save every once in a while. All right. Now, so if we hit the Alt W, it's going to go here because of the tab order. Alt H will go here because of the tab order. And then we got a whole bunch of other stuff set up. I think we're in pretty good shape. The only thing else we want to do, well, maybe we'll get to that in a second. All right. So BMI. So what we're going to do is double-click on each of our buttons, all our code except for we also are going to put in some ability to, when we type in these boxes, to clear out this. As a question on a couple of the students had this I'm looking at, and it's kind of missed in the book, which I thought was weird. So let's switch over to languages, so we'll do that too. Let's start with the exit button. The exit button's the easy one. Exit the application is our comment. And let's make this font a little bit bigger so we can see things. There we go. And we typically just type in application.exit, which is a better choice over than this.close, though I'm sure you maybe have come across some code in the book that says this.close. Another one of the videos earlier has talked about that a little bit. All right, back to the design. That's all we need to do there. Click on the clear, and the clear will do all of the controls. Clear all of them. Little comment here. Clear the form. So txt weight.text equals string.empty. Okay.